Hello there, kings and queens, and everybody between. It's your boy Qyz back at you with yet some more Clout.WAV, because today marks episode 67. That is right, episode 67. We're getting ever so close to the big 70. We're about to get over that new milestone. But thank you for coming out for yet another week of Clout.WAV. But yet, as always, I can't do this alone. There's always someone who is looking rather debonair. Someone out there who's rocking the young Adidas brand. Someone who is actually, let's just be honest, ahead of the curve on most things, because he's got just such a big throbbing brain. We're talking about Subtle Fraudulence, everybody. Yeah, you can say whatever you want about that introduction. You can say it was bordering on some sus levels, but I don't care. When you've been homies with somebody for so long, and you obviously know that they're a great, what do we call it, a provider? We call them a visionary, so to speak. Someone who is way ahead of the content game, as it were. A pioneer in some ways. You can say whatever you want about them, because at the end of the day, their work is going to speak for themselves. But how you doing, man? You doing all right? You doing good?
That's right. I'm doing okay. You know, got to stay the hype beast that I am, as you can see from the Adidas. I'm doing okay. I finished Final Fantasy X on stream. That was like I used a different save file because I had an original save file that had all the extra shit, most of the extra shit done, and just wanted to make that like easier and have like the cool stuff. That luckily was a very easy run, and then I started Final Fantasy X2, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna run through this game, and then I started playing it, and I was like, oh,
You started getting bogged down, huh?
Bro, it's killing me, man. It's killing me. That game, going from Final Fantasy X to Final Fantasy X-2 is a killer. I reminded myself immediately why I never like finished playing that game myself, because like it's so different in like the worst way. Like the battle system is completely different. Even though you've seen like the same enemies and things like that, like since the battle system is so different, like everything just functions differently. It's just really, really not good. But like, you know, some people have their love for it, you know, because it's like a very fan servicey game. It's all about like, we love these characters, and so we're gonna have fun with it. Which I get that aspect of it, but you know, I like the ATB system in Final Fantasy X. You know, like you could use that system with the dress sphere system. You didn't have to change it, but instead it's Final Fantasy VII. It's the Final Fantasy VII battle system plus style changes, plus like, you know, like what was the system that was in 13 where you changed paradigm shift basically. And I don't, yeah, I'm not gonna play on the stream. I'd rather play Cyberpunk.
Well, Cyberpunk got a new patch recently, which seems to have stepped the game back up to what it was supposed to be at launch, but you know, better late than never.
That's why I'm thinking about actually playing Cyberpunk, because after I beat the game the first time, I did want to do like a like streamed run of the Corpo, like the Corpo like story way or whatever, pathway. But like I did find out shortly after that like it's not very different from Street Kid. Someone else told me that the Nomad one is very different, because you start off as like a mechanic and shit, but the Corpo one start off as a corporate chill, and then you just end up in the Street Kid route. Like it's just like it's literally just different ways to end up at the Street Kid route.
So it's not an alternative ending; it's more of an alternative beginning. It just kind of funnels itself right back into the quote unquote main route.
Exactly. So yeah, whatever. I'm still thinking about doing that, because all the changes make the game itself like completely different, to a point where playing my save file that I have is kind of odd, because like so many things have changed that I might as well like start the game fresh. So yeah,
I hear you.
Thinking about it. It's one of those things. I mean, I have a list of so many things I was gonna play and I never got around to. I never finished Tomb Raider. I fucking haven't played any of the Yakuza games that I was gonna play. And I'm never gonna play Yakuza 6. Yeah, you know, and you know, good old fighting games. I actually don't play those on stream very much, even though I still kind of play them in real life.
Look, I solo queued the Diamond and Apex Legends in the past 2 weeks. So, that was an experience. Wouldn't recommend doing it. It's not good for your mental health. There are definitely some people out there when it comes to the randos who are just going to make you question, are these human beings that sign on to this game to play like this? You're really going to have those come to Jesus moments with yourself, but I was able to persevere. Will I try for Masters? Probably not. That's a time sink that I don't think I want to do, especially when I have a good old-fashioned Kirby game coming out in 2 weeks. You damn right I'll be doing something much better with my time. That game.
Did you play the demo?
Ring. I didn't play. I want to go in so blind. I don't want to taste. I don't want an hors d'oeuvre, nothing. I want to go in there with the blindest of juice. I want everything to be a genuine first experience. Only time I really care about betas is when it's like a competitive multiplayer game, because at that point, not only do you get a kind of a leg up on the competition, but you kind of get to learn, do I want to spend money on a game that I'm going to play for 2 weeks and be like, oh, nah, I'm good. Kirby's usually a safe bet to where I feel like I can go in with my $59.99 investment and be good with my decision. But on the other side, games coming out in the future, we do have the State of Play, and I don't know, it wasn't bad. I just have like a question, like why did random Sonic fans start getting Sonic Frontiers trending on Twitter because they thought that Sony was going to unveil more Sonic Frontiers information? Like there wasn't any hints, there wasn't any like cryptic code. Like this isn't like Ed Boon was like, guys, Idris Elba's gonna be at the State of Play. Sonic thing. Like it's not like there was some weird decoding thing that went on. There was no Final Fantasy Tactics. There was no fucking no reason to call Phoenix Wright. There was no reason to get Sherlock Holmes involved. Hell, not even Detective Conan pulled up for the job. Like there was nothing there. There was zero evidence. Were Sonic fans just clinging to that blind Hail Mary attempt that hope would bless them with an update?
Was Sonic Frontier originally announced for during like a State of Play, or wasn't it announced during like a Nintendo
it was announced
Direct?
Like at like E3, I think. Like it wasn't E3. It was one of those big general conferences, like an award show. Could have been the Game Awards. For
the
all
Game
I know.
Awards. That's what it was. It was the Game Awards. Yeah, it was the Game Awards. Because I don't understand why they would think that PlayStation 5, PlayStation themselves would like care about announcing that now at this random State of Play that they decided to show us. Which I honestly thought that this was supposed to be like focused on like maybe like one specific game or something.
Not this time. Horizon Forbidden West is already out.
Well, what about Gran Turismo?
Gran Turismo already had a public, I think it was public beta, so that's already in people's hands at least.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't know. This was the one that a lot of people were just saying like, you can kind of forget this. There's not really anything that's going to be announced for it, yada yada. And they kind of were right, but they also were wrong. Look, Capcom is out here showing us things that they're like, hey, yeah, we remember the stuff that you want, but new IP instead, buddies. Oh, hey, remember Regina from Dino Crisis? Oh, this is legally distinct Regina over here. She's not Regina. It's like, Capcom, you own the product. You could just make another Dino Crisis. Nah, man, new IP, huh, guys? It's like, where's Marvel vs. Capcom 4?
Nah, man, you better get legally distinct Marvel vs. Capcom 4.
Also, really quick, since we're talking about like versus games, Evo announced the lineup, which I think all of it was just stuff that was like, yeah, well, duh, it's gonna be a part of the Evo lineup. But why would it not be there?
Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, and I was like, damn, that was a game that came out.
Even that was like, yeah, duh, of course they're gonna do that, because it literally never got an Evo. Yeah, it never got an Evo. It never got its moment to shine at all offline. So now that we're having offline tournaments, of course they're going to announce it. So like, duh, whatever. But Evo came out and was like, don't worry, guys. We haven't forgot about you, Marvel fans. And it was like, huh? Oh, yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Remember that thing that we said we were going to do? Don't worry, guys. We haven't forgotten you. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, besides that, it's like Evo will happen when it happens, and the games that will be there will be there. Finally,
game, and there's one game that I think might actually come out right before Evo, and they're gonna be like, "Why are we here?" And it's like, because your game probably came out 4 days before Evo, or it came out the weekend after Evo, and it's because I don't think DNF is coming out before Evo.
Yahoo? What's that? Yeah, when's the last time we heard about that game? Yeah,
when the beta ended, when the clock struck 12. They put it in the briefcase and they said, "We will see you in a future date." And they pulled out.
It's just ridiculous. Who knows what that game is going to be by the time it comes out? Because I know they're not going to keep whatever it is they gave us with that beta.
No, that man, Hail the Crusader, he's not going to be allowed to be what he was in that beta.
Bro, between Crusader and Initiator or Inquisitor, who just summoned the giant wheel on you? Come on, man. Like that game is not going to be the same.
Wheel in the set play.
Yep, they're just going to allow these things to happen and be like, "Here, guys, have fun with a fighting game. We don't care."
No, if you blocked the wheel, you were getting kidnapped, bro. That was it. You just got kidnapped. You had to accept that you were in a situation where you were about to get schmixed. And if you get past the schmixterization, I mean, you deserve to win.
I just want to know, why do they treat the Evo game announcements like it's a state of play, where they're gonna give us some new content for some of these fighting games or something like that? It's like, no, these are the games that are gonna be at Evo, and the ones that aren't are gonna be at Evo in some capacity anyways. So I'm just kind of yeah, that's nice, I guess. But anyways, state of play, right? Hey guys, what happened to that Bayonetta ripoff that was announced for PS5? That sure wasn't announced.
You're
they
right.
didn't show anything.
There was that.
I was like, what happened to that one Chinese game that they were trying to get us all horny for? They're just like, no, never mind.
Yeah, they were getting us all.
Enix?
Yeah, they were trying to get us all lubed up for it.
No official trailer sort of thing for Babylon Falls, because the demo came out, and I guess we now know you probably shouldn't buy that game. Fucking, oh my god. Capcom announced their game, which is it's nice that Capcom is still doing things, but where why are you teasing us with a game that we want and then telling us it's this new thing that's totally different? It's okay if you call it Dino Crisis 4, Dino Crisis 3, and then just make it different, because it's been years. You can do whatever you want. And then just you still use the characters, and just don't do that Parasite Eve, the third birthday thing. That was...
Nah, man, they're gonna make a game that's all about detectives and shooters like Duke Nukem, but they're gonna be going through time, and they're not gonna call it Time Crisis. It's gonna be called Chronological Warfare, some shit like that.
That's the move now. Square Enix? They announced a new game, and they made it seem like it was some kind of new Final Fantasy or something like that, and then it turned out to be this RTS game that has good character design and whatnot in it, and it seems like it's gonna be a 3D modeled triangle strategy, which just came out, and everyone's like, that game is really good. And it seems like there's going to be a similar battle system going on, and you're just going to have better visuals instead of 2D sprite nonsense,
simulated 3.5D and all that nonsense that you got over there.
Exactly. What else? Square Enix also announced a sequel to Valkyrie Profile. Oh my god, what was the stupid word that they used? Valkyrie Elysium, that's what it was. I don't remember Valkyrie Profile that much, so there's a reference at the end of the trailer where a character shows up who I'm assuming is a character that's well known in Valkyrie Profile. She shows up and she looks like she's the villain of the sequence, because the main character is dressed in all white. This character is dressed in all black, and then main character looks at her and she's like, "Who are you? Who are you?" And then the trailer just ends, and I'm like, oh, all right.
Was it supposed to get you to ask, "Who is she? We want more answers. Go to ValkyrieElysium.com.
I think that's what the case was. It's either that or the character is literally from Valkyrie Profile, and like diehard fans will notice. But I haven't like done too much research in it because I was too distracted by the graphics for Valkyrie Elysium. This is allegedly going to be a game that's on PS4, PS5. It looks like it's more for like the lower end of PS4 right now, which is odd at this point in time.
Optimized for the PlayStation 4 Slim.
At this point in time, it doesn't make sense that they do that, but whatever. Like, I think gameplay wise, the game looks like pretty decent. It looks like your, typical like action RPG, which unfortunately you have so many people who take action RPG and don't do that well enough. So Square is doing this in the best way possible. The graphics don't look the best, but maybe they'll clean it up by the time it comes out. It's just really good that they're acknowledging their older IPs that have been kind of forgotten. So, Legend of Dragoon sequel? Maybe?
I think you that's wishful thinking right there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Bungie, you guys want to get your mojo back since all you got is Destiny 2? Or hey, Oni sequel?
Now you know damn well they're just gonna make it a fucking free-to-play multiplayer experience. We gonna chop the story up into different DLC expansions. And then it's gonna have a crossover event with Destiny. Are you sure that is what you want?
I'm never sure, man.
Because that's how you get Anthem 2. No, I will not let the world forget about Anthem. It existed.
We didn't even get Anthem 1, all right? So it's okay. Don't worry.
The world will heal from the wound that Anthem left in our hearts.
But
what about? Did you see the Overwatch 2 announcement at the State of Play address?
No, there was. You over here talking about that Gundam game?
Yeah, see, you knew what I was talking about. That game looked like it was about to be Overwatch 2, and somehow, some way, in some aspects, I was like, hold on, wait a minute, this looks better than Overwatch could ever be from a gunplay perspective, because, I mean, let's face it, Overwatch 2 has some gunplay in it, but it is definitely more of a strategy, hold position, hold angles, push, coordinate with a team, and let's be honest, on some team compositions, only one of your teammates actually has a gun. Hell, there are some comps where none of your teammates have a traditional gun.
That's really weird. Oh, okay.
What?
I mean, weird? Like, it's weird that like some people don't even have a gun. But
because I mean, like you can run a team comp that's like, at least in Overwatch 1 when you have 6, because you only have 5 now in Overwatch 2, which is still a weird change to me. But you could run Winston, you could run Reinhardt, and then your supports could be Moira, Mercy, and Mercy is the only one that has a traditional pistol there. And then your DPS could be Genji and Junkrat. You know, like no one has a traditional methodology of aiming and having traditional aim mechanics, blah, 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 so on and so forth.
Oh, now, apparently this game is free to play also.
What, the Gundam game?
Yeah, the Gundam game is going to be free to play. PS4, PS5. Right. So that's interesting. Apparently Gundam fans are, this is one of those things that Gundam fans are going to like a lot. It's just really a ripoff of Overwatch. Like
here's the thing. I don't necessarily know if it's a ripoff of Overwatch yet.
I mean,
the
UI
looked very similar to what Overwatch 2 was going for, especially in the spectator mode. And there was a couple of parts where it looked like they were controlling a point, and the objective looked like the center point of an Overwatch map. But at the same time, we only got I think the longest clip they showed us was 2.5 seconds. So not really enough to cobble up enough of hodgepodge footage to be able to tell you in any sort of legit manner with any sort of credibility to it that I could tell you exactly how the game was playing or what the objectives was. Because it says there are 3 competitive modes. So I'm assuming they have one that's just a regular team deathmatch. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, probably.
And then I'm probably capture the flag and then maybe control point. I would assume that's it.
It looks like control point is in one of these, one of the
or
clips.
King of the Hill. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it looks like. But a lot of people did make a interesting observation, like, "Oh my god, dude, what's the point of having a Gundam game if it's not going to be in the cockpit view or it's not going to be third person? Because who wants a first person Gundam game when half the appeal is looking at the Gundam?" And I'm like, have you not seen any first person shooter that has customizable skins ever? Because trust me, although you may not spend much time looking at them, people will spend an abundant amount of coin to get them, especially if this game is going to be free to play. Yeah, they know what they're doing. They know they have an audience.
Do you know how much money people have spent on unlocking like Battle Pass Call of Duty characters in the game where you never ever see those characters yourself?
I mean, look at Apex Legends. Some people spent $80 for a skin.
Oh God!
Some people, some for that evolution skin for Bloodhound, you had to get every item that was in the promotional loot boxes at that time, and in order for you to get it, you had to get all 24, which means it was 700 coins a pack. So I think it was like basically $70 just to get a chance at 10 of them. So to get all 24, you probably had to spend around $200 something to get the skin. So believe me when I tell you, these companies don't give a fuck when their game is free to play. They are like, well, you got in for free. It's time for you to spread your ass cheeks now. And they will pillage your village. And plenty of people bought that skin, by the way. Plenty of people have that skin. Now, luckily, I don't know how many of you know this, you can actually use heirloom shards in order to get the skin. So if you do get the 1 in 10,000 roll of getting heirloom shards, you can instead spend them on heirloom. You can spend them on any of the prestige skins that are coming out, because the Bloodhound one was the first evolution skin, which you think that would have been something they would have capitalized on a long time ago, but it took till season 12 before we got one. So here we are. I don't know. Respawn Entertainment is they're very weird with their development practices. I'll tell you that much right now.
They sure are. I mean, remember Titanfall?
No, I don't. I remember when the hackers made it you will save Apex right now. And I was like, you know how crazy it is? You know how crazy it is when the Titanfall 2 hackers got so upset that their game was being hacked by the nefarious hackers that they nefariously hacked Apex Legends and put links on the homepage of Apex Legends to take you to Titanfall 2, to a project that's called Save Titanfall 2. You know how wild it is? Your game gets hijacked to save another game.
Well,
and it's wild that those people who were able to hack Apex Legends to that deteriorated state were still asking for help from the developers, because I'm like, if you can hack the game this good, you can't fight these folks back. But apparently not. Apparently fucking not. And that is a tragedy in and of itself.
But yeah, so Gundam, first off, Gundam players are eating pretty well. You know, they got Gundam versus EX Maxi Boost, out of their arcades and into their consoles. So they've been loving that, because apparently netcode is not bad, and the game is just a fun experience. There are apparently a few other like Gundam games that have been out, maybe some like Japan only, some not. But yeah, they're just getting a new free to play game added to their repertoire, and I'm assuming that this one is gonna have like a plethora of like Gundams from different series, because it's looking like it's gonna pull from different series, so it's gonna have like all kinds of like iconic Gundams that people want. If they don't, they're dumb, and they'll probably add it later as DLC. So
nah, man, yeah, remember, it's a free to play game, so each season is gonna be a new anime.
Nah, they're already showing that they're not doing it that way, which is the smart move. Speaking of smart moves, Bandai Namco also announced that there's a new version of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle that's coming out to PS4 and PS5.
Did anyone care about it the first time around?
Diehard JoJo's fans who don't play the fighting games that often and like arena fighters like Naruto, Ultimate Ninja Storm, and whatnot. They liked it.
I mean, I'm someone had to like it because I definitely was not on that bandwagon there. But
I
then
mean,
again,
then they
at the
got
same time,
JoJo
I'm not
Eyes
a
of
JoJo's
Heaven.
fan. I'm not a
Oh.
JoJo's guy.
What? What did you say? What are those
I
words?
am not a JoJo's guy. You
What?
understood the words I said in that
What?
order. Thank you very much. You
What
son
are
of a
these
bitch.
words? What are these words? I don't. How do they form a sentence? I don't under. Anyways, yeah. JoJo All Star Battle. A sequel to All Star Battle R is a sequel to All Star Battle. I guess they're forgetting about Eyes of Heaven, which that's good. We should do that. So they announced this, and it unfortunately it looks like it's just All Star Battle plus Part 6 characters being included in it and like redone to now that the anime has come out. And like even this section of like, you know, the article that's supposed to like talk about her or whatever is like, hey, what's different? All new visuals and a new visual experience for the 2013 game and the Part 6 anime voice actors.
So what you're saying is it's Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate.
Yeah.
New
That's what it
story
seems
mode, new visuals, and maybe some gameplay mechanics tweaks.
I don't even think this getting a new story mode. Like everything that I've seen, all the like shots that I've seen of this game look like it's the original game. It's just got more characters added to it, like just more content added to it, which is who knows, they might change it. And they may change the game by the time it comes out, but I don't think they're changing how it was played before. So it's going to be like an arena fighter thing, which it sucks because Capcom has shown us that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure can have a conventional fighting game that works out really well. Was it JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the CPS3 game, the Capcom made fighting game? That game is still heritage for the future. That's what it was. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Heritage for the Future is still like one of the best JoJo games to ever exist. And even though it's got some like some jank, it's still really good. But I think there's this weird thing with anime IPs where it's like we don't want to worry too much about making a quote unquote legit fighting game or a conventional fighting game, because people will just buy our arena fighter anyways, and that'll make us the money that we want. And so I don't know. Like a
lot of people who are in the anime just want to play a game where a cool anime character go. That's all they want to do.
Yeah, they're like, oh, what if Giorno fights Jolene?
And they just want to see crazy stuff happen without much effort, and that's fine.
Yep.
I do believe those games definitely have a place. Maybe not running a tournament for it, but definitely they definitely have the right to 100% exist, and you're allowed to have a great time doing it. Even if some of them just boil down to who can mash the square button or the circle button the most. But speaking of mashing things the most, are you ready for a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Collector's set of games? Now, what games are on this Collector's Edition? What's going on here?
Let's see. Let me find an official list because I know Turtles in Time is in there at least once. Cowabunga Edition. Let's see. Turtles in Time, the Tournament Fighters is finally getting released to something that's like not what is it, like emulators?
Not Fightcade?
Yeah, not Fightcade. Let's see. TMNT 2, the arcade game, TMNT 3, Manhattan Project, TMNT 4, Turtles in Time, and the Hyperstone Heist. It'll also have local multiplayer. Oh, that's nice. They included handheld titles like TMNT 3 Radical Rescue. It's got a gameplay style popularized by Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Whoa, I don't think I've ever heard of that one. Yeah, what? That might be interesting because I don't think I've ever heard of this handheld TMNT game. Maybe it's Japanese only or something like that. But yeah, it's basically got like TMNT 1 all the way to Turtles in Time, and then also this Metroidvania game, and then Tournament Fighters. So far, they haven't really announced what version of Tournament Fighters is going to be included here, whether it's the arcade version or it's the was it a Super Nintendo version. So we'll see. They have to give us more details on that, but like Tournament Fighters being on a current console is kind of a pretty big deal. Like that game was low key, like a banger. Like that game was really good. It's really cool. It'd be nice to like expose people who've never seen it to that. It's kind of odd the timing for this because they're also releasing that new beat 'em up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game from Tribute that looks like it's basically like a sequel to Turtles in Time. And I don't know, like are these going to be released close to each other, or is this just like a hey guys, since that game is coming out, why don't you also like play the older TMNT game so that we can like get this IP like in the zeitgeist again, because Michael Bay is not making another movie. He's not.
While that is true, because you're talking about Shredder's Revenge, right? All we know is that it comes out this year, which is weird. Like we didn't get a quarter, we didn't get a month. I just know they released a trailer, what was it, last month, and it showed Master Splinter as a playable character.
Yeah, it's so very confusing that like they made it seem like this game was coming out like next month or something, and nah, it's just like 2022. And that's it. Like whatever, we'll tell you when it comes out. And I don't get it, dude. I don't get it. But a game to look forward to anyways, that got like an announcement was Strangers in Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, which is a remake of Final Fantasy 1 in like a new interesting light. It got a new demo that was announced. I saw in the trailer that the demo is for PS4, PS5, but I don't think it is. I think it's just PS5 only, like it was previously. Wait, okay, so the official PlayStation blog says it's supposed to be on PS4 and PS5. I checked PS4 yesterday. It was not there. So I have to check again to see if I can get myself a copy of this, because this game is basically what would happen if Team Ninja, the brilliant minds behind the Neo franchise, made a Final Fantasy game in like an action RPG type of style, and it seems really, really good. Like this game actually like looks like it's going to be pretty underrated, but it's honestly probably going to be like one of the best games to come out this year. So
you better knock on whatever wood you got around you out there.
Hey man, hey. I'm just out here trying to kill chaos. That's all that is, So anything else you hear from me, you don't gotta like press it against me. All right, I'm just saying, from things that I've heard and things that I've seen, probably going to be one of the best games this year. Because it's not going to be Babylon's Fall.
That's all it's got to be. That's all it doesn't have to be is Babylon's Fall, and you're on the right path.
Yeah. I mean, what else is it even like going against? Like, what is it? Ghostwire Tokyo also got a trailer. That game's coming out this month also, and like, I feel like I don't even know what that game is still. And everything I've seen of it looks like okay, but it also looks very weird. It's like, what is this game? Like, what is this game aspiring to be in the end? And like, how is it going to pull in like casual audiences? Because that's how you're getting your sales. I know that this is like supposed to be like kind of like a survival horror sort of like game, but you have these superpowers in it, so you can do interesting things. But like, is it gonna go more the survival horror route, or is it gonna be like modern day Resident Evil, where it's like action horror type of thing? I don't know. Like, it's probably gonna be very popular in Japan. It looks like the type of game that will be very popular in Japan. But I don't know about here in the States, because they haven't really promoted it in a way where people are gonna be like, hey, yeah, I'm totally gonna play that game. I want it. I love it. But if you pre-order it right now, you get kunai and a shinobi outfit. Oh, and streetwear.
Ooh, big pre-order bonus. I'm getting really sick of digital pre-order bonus stuff, man. It's not real. It's not real. Because 9 times out of 10, it just ends up being like free DLC in the future anyway.
Yeah, or it comes out so late that no one plays the game again. That's right, Capcom. I played Remember Me and I didn't pre-order it. So all the cool Capcom moves that you put in that game, didn't have access to any of it until after I'd already beaten the game and already thrown it in the trash and then took it out of the trash and burned it. So nah, I'm good.
My man said I'd rather damage the ozone layer than buy this DLC.
Bro, I'd rather damage the ozone layer than ever play that video game again.
That's tough.
It's bad, but that character could be could be in a versus game, and that would be like a rewarding thing. Like that character, the concept of the character was cool. The execution was not. But I think Capcom just published that game, so they didn't make it themselves.
I mean, they made the new rules for their licensing agreements for TOs and tournament organizers to actually be able to run events.
Oh, yeah. Okay, real quick.
Because they made that.
Returnal got DLC. Co-op, awesome. Forspoken got shown again, which is like, if you saw this before, it's not really showing you anything like super new about it. It's just like this game is probably going to be pretty good. It's going to show off the PS5's like capabilities. It's going to be a fun thing, and PS5 needs games, so yeah, it'll probably be fine when it comes out. Besides that, yeah, there wasn't really much else that of note from the state of play here. Oh, that strategy game that I mentioned was it's called Dio Field Chronicle. So yeah, look out for that. From Square Enix. It's giving people like a Final Fantasy Tactics kind of feel to it, and you know how much everybody loves that. So yeah, look out for it. Back to
did you
Capcom,
know there's a salty bet equivalent for Final Fantasy Tactics?
No,
it's
what?
It's called like Final Fantasy Tactics Battlegrounds or something like that. And basically, you could queue yourself up to have a character RNG generated with your Twitch username. You could bet on it. People bet on which team, and then like there's 8 teams to 5, and there's a bracket, and the winning team stays into the next bracket. Oh, it's a whole system. It's infinitely more complicated than anything I've seen. I'll show it to you after this because it's wild. It runs 24/7, 365. I don't know how the dude or the lady, whoever's running it, does the maintenance on it. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It looks very complex, but I'll show it to you. But speaking of complex, it's time to talk about Capcom.
Oh boy.
So these are your guys. These are your ladies. So you talk to me. What do you think about the Capcom licensing agreement?
It's the dumbest thing, like, known to man. It's like, okay, do you remember the like Japanese like pro gamer license like debacle that happened with Momochi, where he was like, he won a Capcom Cup like event. He won a shit ton of money, but they were like, he has to have a license, otherwise we can't give him the money, because if you don't have a license in Japan, you don't get any prize money that's above a certain threshold. And he was like, no, this whole thing is very stupid, so I'm not going to get it, and I don't mind not getting the money. Capcom just decided to take that energy of that license and put it towards TOs and say, we're going to make a rule set so that if you want to host tournaments using our products, using our fighting games, and our like, marketing material and all that stuff, we'll make it easy for you. All you got to do is have this license here, or this, have this license so that you follow this rule set of ours, so that you can just have access to all our marketing materials, so that we, you market things the way that we want you to, and you do things the way that we want you to. Fucking horrible. All the rules in it are fucking awful. Like, you literally can't charge spectator fees for Capcom games if you're following this rule set. Do you know how TOs make money off of their events? It's definitely not.
And make money is in quotes, by the way.
That's right. That's right. Remember the era where people were sitting out here trying to make it seem like TOs are out here making bank, driving Ferraris and Teslas.
They were the fat cats of the FGC.
Yo, that was insane. Like the TOs are the ones that struggled the most, probably because they put together all these like amazing, huge events, and they either don't make a lot of money out of it, they go even, or they take a loss. I mean, I think we talked about this a few weeks ago, but what is it? Tipped off the Smash tournament. It literally caused the TO to like have an actual like financial like crisis in his life, and it's only just now coming back because he sold the IP to someone else. Like he sold the tournament like IP to someone else who's deciding to like resurrect it for him. These tournaments are not making bank for people most of the time. They're just doing it because they love the community and they want fun events for the community so that everyone can like enjoy themselves, because at the end of the day we're all trying to enjoy ourselves.
But newsflash, kids, don't let a community put you financially into a hole. It ain't worth it. It is not worth it. You should not be like, do I give them a Smash tournament or do I live in a house? That should not be the or in that statement. Okay? If you think that doing something for the community is going above and beyond your means to fucking survive or live the quality of life that you're currently living at, shut it down. Just shut it down. For your mental health, just shut it the fuck down. Come back, recoup, get better, get right, and then eventually when things fall back into place, that is when it's your time to shine. But if you can't seem to get that to work out and get the balance between your life, mental health, and fucking video games, let me tell you something. Video games should lose out on the first two on the priority system every single time. I'm just saying. Because I mean, we've seen with the whole pandemic, there was a couple of cons that were like, yeah, I'm a TO and we had to cancel this year, but the venue still wanted some money, so I don't have enough money to bring it back after the pandemic, so we're shutting it down. So it's not like these people are swimming on infinite cash and infinite reserves of monetary value that they could just bust out every time they want to run a tournament. It's just not so. And a lot of these people who do have money had money before they were TOs.
Right.
So it's not like someone went from rags to riches off of TOing. That's just not how it is. That's ridiculous. There's a lot more that goes into it than just being a tournament organizer. Hell, the players that be getting paid, you may laugh at some of their salaries. You may say it's not that much in the grand scheme of esports, and it's not. But I guarantee you it's multitudes higher winning tournaments than it is running them in terms of the revenue earned in the fighting game space. But back to Capcom.
Yeah, Capcom like tried to make some sort of like organized system so that I don't know. I think their idea was that it was going to make it easier for TOs to like run tournaments and then also like promote them for other people and stuff like that. But like it didn't seem that they actually consulted with actual TOs about all this stuff, because the community as a whole was just like, what the, like, this is so terrible. It's not really gonna help them, it's gonna hurt them, and like certain tournaments are not really gonna be run very well at all. And it would make it so that like, okay, let's say you have Evo going on, right? They would have to not host Street Fighter V at Evo, because Evo is definitely a tournament that sells spectator passes so that people can see it. There are literal passes for people to show up for the finals in Mandalay Bay to watch this giant tournament. It's literally a spectacle for people to watch. At some point, Evo was literally on television. Like you can't just say that the TOs can't like make money off of people watching this stuff, because it's meant to be watched as well as played in. So they would have to lose money on the people who would want to play Street Fighter, which Street Fighter V is still like a popular game. Street Fighter V is still like a game in the FGC that a lot of people play. So you'd be losing out on a lot. And I don't know, Capcom tried to like update this stuff. Last I've heard, it hasn't been updated well enough, and we're all just kind of like
But
in the dark.
there's a couple of weird interactions that I think need to be talked about, because like it says that Capcom gets the right to use stream footage and or any photos or videos from the tournament. Basically, they own all royalties and all rights to any media that your tournament has provided. The problem with this is a lot of the people who take these photos, do the videography and things of that nature, are people that the TO hires on some freelance jobs. Like, these are people that they picked up, and they'll be like, okay, you do some photography for us, blah, blah, blah. You know, we'll do a little bit of media, you know, stuff for you, a little advertising, blah, blah, blah. But the photographer in these cases, unless explicitly written otherwise, is the owner of the rights of these photos, these videos, things of that nature. But for whatever reason, I think it's very bold that Capcom is willing to overstep that boundary and say, those photographers that you hired, those photographers you have on staff, their photos, they're ours now. Because they're technically not even the TO, so the TO can't even really transfer those rights.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, well, what about people who are spectators and just have their phones out and like someone's showcasing the hype? Where do those fall? Especially when Capcom is not really pulling any of their resources into funding the event. I don't know. I just think it's a really weird way for them to assess it.
Exactly. Like that. Yeah, you just talked about a whole other aspect of these rules that are just, I don't know, kind of like a slap in the face to the creators. Like, they're like, no, we own all the content that you'll create off of this, so that we can make the money off of it. But it also would entail that they don't make the money off of it, because there's nothing that I've seen about like, oh yeah, you'll get a certain percentage, or you know, something stupid like that. But it's taking the concept of these tournaments and just trying to turn it into some weird like businessman thing, where like, you know, businessman walks into the room and says, these things happen to be making money, find a way for it to make me all the money, thank you. And then they just walk out, and it's like, sir, yeah, these are like grassroots like events that people do for fun. No, this is about money. Money is fun.
But the interesting thing is, like, the arbitrary limits they put on it are like, I believe it was like events, like they're limiting events for individuals to have a prize pool smaller than $2,000, and I think it was like a sponsorship revenue of less than $5,000, along with limiting TOs, the organizers themselves, to prize pools that span less than 10K of sponsorship revenue and less than 20 over a 12-month period. Which, I mean, if you think about it, that's like what? That's less than 2K per month for you to spread for the entirety of the prize pool. For top 8, top 16, whatever it may be. So essentially, like, unless you have like a lot of the bigger TO, like hell, any of the bigger TOs, hell, even some of the smaller mid-sized TOs, there's no way they can make any sort of monetary dividends from Street Fighter V. They're actually getting robbed.
Yeah. And it's just a pain. And so it's gotten to a point where like a lot of people involved are just like, maybe we're just gonna have to avoid Street Fighter V until they get this situated. In which case, now is the best time for that, because Street Fighter V is over. Let's really put that in perspective, okay? Street Fighter V is over. The last season that we did get, we weren't supposed to get. We only got because Street Fighter 6 was being delayed, because, you know, probably the same reasons why Street Fighter V had problems early in its development. And so somehow people are asking for like a like balance patch for Street Fighter V now and whatnot, but like, no, the last patch was the balance patch. You know, that's it. They're probably not going to give us anything else, because they have announced and are focusing on Street Fighter 6. That is the new frontier. Now, if they're trying to set up all these rules and whatnot for how they promote Street Fighter 6, let me tell you, Capcom, about another game that you put out, that you tried to do this sort of thing with, that went horribly wrong. It's called Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. There was
Battle for the Stones, baby.
Not even that. There was the leak of the like esports a video that they had. The like video that was clearly
Oh,
for
the
like a pitch
pitch.
meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where they were gonna try and pitch this video game as like an esports product that's gonna make all kinds of money with the competitive scene. And then when the game came out, none of that shit happened. We got Battle for the Stones. That went fucking horribly. It was horribly unorganized when it came to like the rules for it and stuff. And then they just kind of fucked off because everyone was like, "This game is kind of doo doo." You know, the DLC
It
came out.
wasn't kinda. It was just straight. Well, the gameplay did get better. Like the skeleton remains of what the gameplay was I think relatively fine.
Yeah,
But I don't think the stones were a good addition in the game. I don't think
They-
putting you in a box and all that nonsense was necessary.
they nerfed the like probably the only stone that functioned the way that the stone system was intended to work because again in interviews about the creation of this game the powers that be kept saying the stones are going to function as your third partner in the game. They're your second assist in the game. Reality Stone was the only stone that worked in that kind of way. Maybe Space Stone only because of Space Storm, because again, you put them in the box. The box is good, but like, the fuck am I gonna do pulling you in unless I have some sort of like crazy mix up, right? Everything else was just shit compared to that. All right. Prime Stone had lag after you after you did this this dash that you had, which was like, oh, what's the point in giving me like an actual like a dash that lets me like phase through all kinds of things if afterwards I'm gonna get punished for doing it? What's the point of Mind Stone, this command grab that literally requires you to be like right here in order to get grabbed by it? What's the point of this whip that's supposed to lifesteal that has ungodly startup, like the awful startup, like literally just like ugh, like come on, like what is the point of these things, And so the writing was on the walls, and Capcom abandoned it. They didn't even try to like really promote like esports related things for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. And then the game got like after the last DLC came out for the game, they just ignored it, completely ignored it, and moved on to other things. And then what? Resident Evil 2 remake came out, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, we're making money off of this and Monster Hunter, so we don't have to worry about fighting games anymore." And now what? Street Fighter 6 is going to come out, and they're just all of a sudden going to forget all that shit and try to do the same thing with this weird rule set.
They're really about to come out there with the South Park. We're sorry. We're sorry. Oh,
Like,
you're.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And like, yo, the best thing about this whole situation was that when they announced the rule set, one of the like community managers or like community members was like, "Hey, here it is. I see that you guys are like upset or whatever. I'm really sorry about that. We're gonna try and like really like do something about this and like fix this for you guys because our intent was to make this easier for you guys to run tournaments, not more difficult." Anyways, if you send me anything anytime soon, I probably won't be able to respond anytime soon because I'm going to sleep.
that was a power move, man. My man said, if you have any questions, let me know. Not right now though, because I'm going to bed. That's tough. That man knew exactly what he was doing. He's like, I'll just wake up and deal with it in the morning. Did he ever deal with it in the morning? Because I felt like all the avenues of conversation just kind of tapered off after that.
Honestly, I think he came back and like answered a few things, but by that point, it was a shit show. It had gone like pretty viral. Everyone was saying their opinions. I think like Ultra David wrote an article to like literally translate all the legalese that is in that fucking document that was released. So like, yeah, Capcom apparently has been pretty silent after they were like, "Hey, we like adjusted this, a little bit to hopefully make it more towards your liking." And people are still like, "No, wait, there's more. Like, you need to like there's more stuff to do, and they haven't. I don't know. They haven't said much anything yet, so we're all just waiting and hoping.
The old Twitch versus Dr. Disrespect treatment. There is no agreement. There's just silence. There's just earnest and stern handshakes and a lot of lots of grunting. And we just agree to disagree on something and life goes on.
Again, Twitch fumbles the bag, man. Dr. Disrespect is one of their top earners, and that man, like, look, I don't care if you don't like him or if you have like issues with some things he's done or said in the past or whatever. That dude treats his stream and his branding as a brand and as a product for entertainment for the people. And so everything he does in there is entertainment for the people. He's Dr. Disrespect is not something that you'll see and think, oh, I think I know this guy. Literally, you can tell he is a character and that this is an experience. And it's honestly pretty fucking amazing. The amount of time and effort that's put into his production quality, on top of the character being someone that the people will just see and be like, oh, this is really cool, and I don't have to feel emotionally invested in anything this person says because they're not gonna give their opinions on the Ukraine-Russian war right now or anything like that. He's just gonna be like, I'm the 2-time champion. Now I'm out here to get some kills, get some headshots, and play this game. Hell yeah, brother! That's it. That's it. And Twitch was like, yeah, we're gonna ban you for reasons. And even now, where it's just like, what are the reasons? I don't know. We agreed to disagree on that, and he's gonna do his thing, and we're gonna do our thing because he tried to sue us. And I'm like,
and allegedly both parties stand their ground that neither did anything wrong, which is just like, I don't know how you could agree that neither one did anything wrong, but someone got banned. That doesn't really make sense. Yeah. But at the same time, this is the same company that when they got hit with that Twitch hack during the Q4 last year, we found out that Twitch has, in fact, a do not ban list. So who knows? There's clearly people who are above the rules. So who really knows what the fuck is going on over there, dude? Who the hell knows? But you know what I do know? Twitch has been banning folks recently. Some people from Russia, some people from the Middle East, and for the Middle East is apparently for tax evasion. But let me know. Fill me in on the story.
First off, the people in Russia are just straight up not getting paid by Twitch because everybody's shitting on Russia now. What McDonald's is like, nah, we pulling out.
McDonald's is pulling out.
Yeah, y'all got that Putin guy over there doing that fuck shit. Nah, man.
Google no more. And fucking PayPal, they were pulling out.
Yeah. Oh god, ridiculous. But yeah,
Nintendo shut down their e-store in Russia.
Yeah,
imagine you getting hyped for that Kirby game. You're like, man, this fucking sucks. It's a war. Man, I don't even want to care about all this shit, man. I just want to play some Kirby. And then Nintendo says, well, actually, no, not you.
Yeah, you're just promoting somebody to actually join the Russian military and decide that they're gonna like knock at your door, because what else are they gonna do if they don't have the ability to eat their McDonald's and play their video games? What else is gonna happen?
Well, you think they're gonna go outside? You think who cares about eating the McDonald's or the video games? Some places like, hey man, we can't even take your currency because all the places that you bank with, they don't fuck with us no more.
Exactly. Like what?
They can't.
What the hell?
You have definitely hit a lot of disruption in their commerce. Some of the people like, man, I get paid. I work a job. I have money, but I can't spend it. I'm gonna die. Like what? It's kind of a fucked up situation.
On top of this, Twitch is like, Twitch said that there's a payment issue due to a discrepancy with certain tax information provided by the onboarding process. And so they've been mass banning a lot of Twitch streamers from the Middle East. Because allegedly their tax information doesn't really add up. I mean, Come on, like they're not artesian builds, you know. They're not just straight up evading you. Like it sounds like this is something that could be easily solved by seeing that there's a pattern here, and tracing it to the source and making sure that everything is being verified properly, and that if these people did not verify their tax information properly for Twitch, that you resend them whatever you need to resend them to like fill out to verify this, or at least notify them of like, hey, this shit's not adding up. Instead, they're just straight up banning people. Like, nah, bro, you're banned. We don't know what's going on. And so these people are all adding Twitch on like Twitter and whatnot. Like, what is this? I don't. Why am I getting banned? What's going on? And now it's a shit show of like people publicly, calling out Twitch once again for Twitch doing something that clearly seems like a fuck up, and Twitch having to say, "Oh shit, sorry." I guess we'll look into this and fix it or whatever. But I don't get what goes on over there at this point, like the streamer band's Twitter account literally had to stop posting notifications because of how many people got banned in this whole incident. And like so far,
that's crazy when the ban tracker Twitter's like, hey bro, there's too many.
Yeah,
I can't keep up. It's too much.
Like so far there hasn't been any sort of like perma bans that are connected to this. These are all some sort of like suspensions, so like maybe people are going to be banned for like a couple of days or something like that, or whatever. That's what they're getting told, but it doesn't make sense for Twitch to automatically ban these people over something that could be fixed by sending them an email that says, we're missing this, give us that information and we're all good. So
hello, we're a few information pieces short. Can you fill in the blanks so we can get you taken care of?
I mean, you got an automated system that tweets out when you ban people. Like, how about you automate fixing this whole tax information problem?
Wait, is that bot ran by Twitch?
I don't know. I don't even know anymore, man.
I was gonna say there's I highly doubt that. I don't think Twitch is in the game of snitching on themselves.
I mean, it's not switching. It's not snitching. It's reporting. I'm just saying like, hey, yeah, we banned this person, and that's why you won't be seeing them for a few days.
True. Because I know that Twitter doesn't disclose the reason, so I just think it's like a random thing if they were overseeing it to just be like, we got rid of them. Why? We got rid of them. Then again, I mean, if they work with Dr. Disrespect and they were able not to answer that for so long, I mean, still haven't answered it, by the way. I guess you could do whatever the fuck you want. And
these people are getting treated in a similar way. Like what? One streamer who's got like 13K followers says that his emails have not been responded to, and he hasn't received any actual reasoning as to why he got banned. And he basically saying that the way they're handling this is a joke. And yeah, that's true. Like, how can you ban all these people from this one country? One, seems a little bit racist. Two, how do you not tell any of them what happened besides saying like it's a violation of community guidelines? Like, look, these platforms have to be better at telling people what they did so that they don't do it again.
There's a little transparency, too much to ask.
Like they're doing stuff that ultimately will make you money. And so if you want them to continue to make you money, like, someone with like 13K followers can definitely make you money by providing, like ad revenue at the very least, like tell them when they do something wrong so they can fix it.
Because saying otherwise, your tax information is incorrect, I don't think you understand, especially with international things. Taxes are not very what we would call streamlined and easy. There's so, especially if you have to find a 1099 miscellaneous, like my boy, my lad, my lasses. There is some shit in there, like especially if you want to have write-offs for, your fucking internet bill and like things that there's so many things that prerequisite qualify. There's a lot of things in there that you actually have to look at and know what the fuck you're talking about. And trust me, Most people probably fucking don't, especially if they're in a country that has a tax system that is 100% different than ours. But because it's on Twitch, you still have to pay the taxes. It's a really weird thing. But it is what it is. And I just think that, like, you should at least be willing to work with these people, wherever they're from, in order to get this stuff straight. Because we know for a fact there are some people, the way they've been paying taxes has actually been kind of fucking egregious, and y'all haven't done anything about that. So I think these people should at least get a chance to actually, because the tax season isn't up yet. You just banned them before the tax season even ran out. Like, they got preemptively smoked. Like, what?
Yeah, exactly. So,
because if I remember, you still have 3 weeks. It's at mid-April, or is it April 1st?
I think it's mid-April.
The tax deadline is April 18th. So yeah, you got a whole month left, and they already smoking on that pack right now. That's wild to me.
I don't get it. Like, look, tell them something if you need them to fix something in your system. Don't sit here and treat them the way you treated Dr. Disrespect, because that guy is on YouTube now and he's not coming back. You know, Valkyrie, YouTube, not coming back. Ludwig, YouTube, probably not coming back. You know, like, you don't want to treat your top earners in this way, like you don't care about them. I mean, you also don't want to treat like your smaller ones too, but, like, you know, it's a message. If they see that, you know, people who are considered to be the best streamers on the platform, or like the most lucrative streamers on the platform, they see those people getting treated like shit, they're gonna be like, oh, what are they gonna do to me? I mean, I don't even matter.
Don't take my money.
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck? There's no way that it's gonna end up going very well if
It very seldomly is going to be in any sort of way going the way they think it will. I'll tell you that right now.
And, like, the only reason why Twitch can get away with this shit is because there's nobody that's challenging them platform wise. There's nobody that can right now for some reason. And, like, at least no one's putting their actual, like, money and time into making a platform that's better than Twitch, or that actually treats people better than Twitch does. So they can get away with this because at the end of the day, streamers got to stream. And what, they're going to go to YouTube, where they literally don't even have a section where you can find when these people are live? Even if you follow them, you still can't even tell when they're actually live. 9 times out of 10, I don't know when Ludwig is live, and I'm actually subscribed to his channel. Like, I would have to be obsessed, and I don't want that kind of life.
I hear you. Because, look, I would highly recommend that no one live a stressful life on purpose, especially when it's with simple shit that you could just, I don't know, just nip in the bud.
Yep.
Because this doesn't have to be a problem. And in a lot of cases, it shouldn't have been a problem. But Twitch likes to do things bass-ackwards, and, well, somehow, some way, every fucking week, it's something else. But hey, at least some people got closure out of it. Others have more questions than they had answers. But speaking of more questions than answers, what the fuck's going on over there at Sony? Apparently 8 more women have come out and said, yeah, sexual harassment's at an all-time high. And, like, you're looking around the gaming space and it's like Activision Blizzard, Ubisoft, Riot, Sony. Like, I feel like there's more out there. We just haven't heard about it yet.
The same story again of, hey, we worked for this company and it was shitty because, I don't know, people didn't know how to keep their hands to themselves, or how to talk to women, or how to treat people with respect. And now we're out here telling everybody about it because, you know, it kind of affected our lives.
And, hey, man, when you have firsthand experience, like, secondhand experience with abuse where you know someone who's been abused, like, it sucks. You definitely try to help when you can. But when you're the person who is abused, that's a whole different beast. When that shit affects you firsthand, like you can reach out and touch the pain. Yeah, that's rough. Because not only do you have to like interpret what happened, relive what happened in your mind, there's going to be people who are going to hit you with the gaslight 5,000 of, are you sure that's what he meant? Are you sure that's how they meant to touch you? Are you sure you're not overreacting? And then like you got to have to like process that shit for a few days. And sometimes some people process that shit too long and the statute of limitations runs out.
And now we have things like this where, what is it? The former IT security analyst, Emma Mayo, Majo is how you spell that last name. But like, she filed a suit against PlayStation for wrongful termination because she literally tried to like report that there was sexism going on. There was like some sort of like gender discrimination going on in the company, and they were like, "Now you're fired." And she's like, "That's awful. You fired me because I, actually brought this up and tried to."
I stood up for myself.
Yeah, because I stood up for myself, and it's just weird that now they're like, "Oh no, she's lying."
They really hit it with the nah. It's all cap.
Yeah, they're asking the court to throw out the lawsuit. Like, you think that now, when so many of your brethren are dealing with the same situation, you think now is the best time to be like, nah, she's lying. What are you talking about? There's no way we would have done that. We're good boys and girls over at PlayStation. Like, they're going to investigate this. So the investigation is going to uncover details about these companies that people probably don't want to know. Like,
who would have
shout
ever
out
thought
to
we would
Breast
have a
Milk.
game? Who would ever thought we would have had a gaming developer underbelly? Didn't have that on the bingo book, but here we are.
I definitely would have thought that. Like, this, none of the things that are said about these environments surprise me.
Nah, the men drinking breast milk out of the baby's breast milk out of bottles in the fridge. That one got me. All right, I'm not gonna sit here and say nothing has shocked me.
That one's the weird one. It's like, hey man, we know people who make games. We know people who play games. We know gaming community got some weirdos.
That sounds like one of them Caleb City jokes that you hear about that just went too far. And no, this is real.
And the defenders are going to sound like one of those Long Beach Griffey jokes. That's crazy. It's all coming full circle.
You mean to tell me I can't play Elden Ring because some bitch got her titties sucked? Damn. Someone might actually dead ass say that. Wait a minute. Hold on. No. So please tell me someone hasn't actually said that.
Not that I've heard so far. That's
going to be a goddamn tragedy.
Yeah,
I'm sure someone said something equivalent to it. I'm certain. Comment section, do your thing. Enlighten us. I don't really want to see it, but I also have to know. Has the world truly hit that level of rock bottom yet?
The last thing I'll say about this is that one of a former project manager said that she doesn't think that Sony she believes that Sony is not equipped to approximately handle toxic environments, which that I believe that more than anything else, that they literally just like create these environments and try to make it like fun and buddy and whatnot, and some of these people get way too damn comfortable around people that they normally are not around, and then
Here's the thing about Sony. When you say that like they don't have like the ability to handle this in-house, I just don't know where the money comes from, because who the fuck's buying outside of PlayStation? Who the fuck is buying Sony fucking products? Let's be honest. Who's out here buying Sony TVs? Anybody? Fucking nobody. Who's out here buying Sony DVD players? Who's buying DVD players?
Hey man, some people have not moved over to Blu-ray and don't have a PlayStation 4 or any of that.
You name me someone who's out here buying Sony like fucking Blu-ray, DVD, fucking VHS. Name me a Sony appliance that you've seen somebody buy in the past 3 or 4 years. Maybe some headphones. No, people who get kidnapped and they get stuck at the airport and they got to buy that Best Buy kiosk at the airport for them upcharged Sony headphones.
Sir, let me introduce you to a genre of human being. All right, walks into the store and looks around. And then has a employee approach them. Oh, hello, sir, or hello, madam. Like, may I help you today? Yeah, I want a DVD player so I can watch my Night Court tape.
Oh my god, not fucking Night Court.
And they're like, oh, sure, yeah. Hey, yeah, have you seen the latest Sony product over here? It's like $300, but it's got all kinds of features. Like it can make your coffee for you. It can play all your DVDs. It's got like an
will it play?
DVD
Well,
listen,
listen here, son, child. Will it play Night Court?
Yeah, it'll play Night Court in HD.
Oh, I love the H definition. Yeah, I like definition H. Now, you said it was 300 now. Okay. They get home, put on the DVD. This isn't Night Court. This is In the Heat of the Night. And they just fall asleep.
Well, and there you go. See, Sony sells their products, man. They sell their products.
Look, I'm just I believe if someone looked at the financials, we find out they're taking a huge loss. Like, I'm sorry.
Who, Sony as a company? I don't think so. The name is way too recognizable for them to be taking a huge loss, especially with PlayStation alone, because niggas are out here like losing their minds to buy a PS5 and play nothing.
Hey, look, I'll just take your word for it. Someone else out there, you want to crack open the data analytics, please be my guest. Because I am almost, okay. I know one they got. Cameras.
Yeah.
Their camera game is actually kicking some ass. Now, I don't know if they're selling at a loss or not, but I do know they do have cameras. So I will give them the camcorders. Great job. Great fucking job. But alas, I got to ask you one more question, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for Overwatch 2?
Nope.
Is Overwatch 2 ready for us?
Hell no.
Well, come hell or high water, late April is when we're going to find out, because that is when the Overwatch 2 beta is going to be opening up its doors and getting ready for the big load, the large influx of players who are 100% ready to take this game to task. And I feel like a lot of people are not going in with an open mind. Some people are going in because they're like, Overwatch is back. Some people are going in because they just want to find a new reason to complain about Overwatch, because complaining about Overwatch has seemingly led to some endless content, because the decisions that they've made for the original game over the past year and a half have not been smiled upon. And the things that they talked about they'll be doing for the sequel outside of the story mode content have also been left some heads scratched. Let's just put it that way. But at this point, knowing that the beta is coming, like, this felt like, 3 months ago? It felt like this game wasn't coming out till 2025.
Yeah.
Now you're telling me we're getting a beta where we're going to get it into live hands? Like, I don't know if that's scary or not, but in the developer update, they went on to mention that they have found a reasonable development strategy to decouple the integral story mode PvE elements from the PvP competitive elements. And then it's like, y'all had to get this far in to finally find a way to decouple them so you guys can go in different branches? Because what they were saying was that the PvE stuff was basically bogging down development time because they had to put so much focus into that. They never got a chance to really look into the PvE, or excuse me, to the PvP element. And I'm like, if that's the case, how far behind is the PvP? Because all the content creators that you had in the last closed beta that was in-house have basically said that Overwatch 2 was the drizzling shits. And that is basically what we heard for like the first few months after that. A couple months after that, we have still heard nothing more than the opinion of it's the drizzling shits. It's broken. Things don't work correctly. Things are just wrong. This 5v5 stuff is garbage. The fact that there's a 4-second nerf on in-combat healing. Like, first of all, the average player who played Overwatch 1 I guarantee you they're going to go 2 or 3 seasons of Overwatch 2 and they're not even going to know what the fuck that means. But essentially what happens is if you are healing someone who was in combat for 4 seconds, your healing is diminished by 1/3 on that player. So when they're finally registered as out of combat, you could actually heal them the 100% amount. So basically your healing is nerfed because they got shot at.
That sounds so very dumb.
Yeah, it's like in like Halo where like when you're in combat, you can't respawn if your teammate's in combat.
Oh.
Like in story mode, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's essentially that. And if you think it's hard to heal now, imagine when you're in combat and you can't heal, which means you're not going to be able to really thrive on those sustained comps that have allowed many a tank to live longer than they need to, which is really going to suck because if you're a tank player and there's only one tank now, there's no off tank, there's no secondary tank to also protect the tank, and there's no real sustainable way to keep their energy up through healing them at full output for the entirety of the fight. I'm just saying, it's not looking good. It's not looking good to be a tank player. And the sad part is you only have one. So if your tank player gets tilted because they're not getting healed or they can't survive and they leave, you're fucked. We call that the big that's rough, buddy. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? You feel as though this is as bad as I'm making it out to be? Or do you think we're making mountains out of molehills here?
I think it's as bad as you're making it out to be. This is a wait and see sort of thing. This is Babylon Falls for me. All right.
Oh no.
When it comes out and the footage comes out, we will see how people feel. We will see what the final product or this beta product is, and then we'll be able to actually see what kind of progress they've made. Like if they've actually made real progress, or this is just like, hey guys, I know that we told you we would have something, so we're giving you something. Like DNF Duel, where it's like, hey, we told you the game is coming out, so and we told you that this beta is coming out like tomorrow, so here's some guides on how to play the game.
Oh no, not guides on how to play the game. What if I don't want to learn how to play the game? You ever think of that?
Oh, word. All right. Have fun. Do you, King?
I will. I want to be a scrub forever. No, I'm playing. But in all seriousness, though, I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it.
Me either. Like
there are some elements of Overwatch where it's like it wasn't broke, so there's no reason to fix it. And then they tried to fix it, and then they broke it, and then they shattered it, and now they're like, "Don't worry, guys. In its remnants, we're going to be able to build something even better than you've ever seen." And nothing about it looks promising. And now they're just chucking a beta out. But at least there's some. They threw you the olive branch of giving you some fucking, ability to have some sort of conversation about it.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but it is what it is.
We'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Overwatch. I hope they put some focus into making the game actually like an enjoyable experience, but who knows?
I agree.
I think the people who care about Overwatch are still playing it. The people who don't need to be convinced that it's good enough for them to come back.
I mean, they'll figure it out, right?
Yeah, they'll figure it out. They'll definitely figure it out.
You sure?
No.
I'm kind of hopeful, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know how hopeful I really am. But it is what it is. We'll see how it folds. I mean, we only got a month before Judgment Day, as it were. But yeah, I think we're going to bring episode 67 to a close right around here. Damn, it's 12:30. We really out here right now.
Yeah.
In the stratosphere of night. But y'all take care, enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you guys on episode 68, which should be next week. Provided, everything goes normally. Also, what are we going to do for the MomoCon special? I know that's like 2 months off, but I just feel like we should do something for it.
I don't know, man. We'll have to come up with ideas for that, I guess.
We'll make it a vlog episode. That's what we'll do. It'll be us in the hotel room shooting the shit. Hey, man. It's all about a hotel room and a dream, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time.